And ultimately, after my second heart attack, this code 3 moment, I wanted to really dig into what is the true source of joy. And what I came to realize is that authenticity is the key. Are you on autopilot? Have you traded significance for success? What is the cost of staying stuck if you are in fact and indeed stuck? What is that cost to you? There is disillusionment and loneliness and the sense of helplessness by being stuck where you are. You don't have to be. You don't have to feel that way. Hi there, it's Adrian Jones, or you can call me AJ. That's how I go around these parts. Welcome to the show. I am the host of Code 3 Life Reinvented. This podcast is very personal to me. First of all, why am I calling this Code 3 Life Reinvented? Well, this is hyper and deeply personal to me. My second heart attack, in 2024, I was home alone. I called my wife when I felt the symptoms, and she urged me to hang up and call 911, which I did. 3 minutes and 40 seconds later, emergency services vehicles arrived. First a fire truck, then the paramedics. When they moved me into the cabin of the ambulance, the paramedic next to me called in a code 3. For those of you that know much about emergency services and the level of codes, code 3 is a big deal. It means it's a real emergency. It's going down. Make it happen. Get to where you need to be. There's a life on the line in my instance. So as I thought about this podcast, I wanted to honor what this code 3 did for me and to bring that level of urgency into career transformation conversations. We don't aspire to be beige and full of platitudes here. Here at Code 3 Life Reinvented, we're going to dive into it. It's going to get raw, it's going to get real, and you're going to hear me push as a survivor 2 times over, who has very small odds of actually being here, but I'm here, part of a club I never thought I'd be a part of, frankly. But I have a lot to share, and I hope that what you get out of listening to these episodes that follow will be inspiration, will be support, will be able to frame what you're doing against the context of what others have done in their own lives and their own circumstances. But ultimately, this show is about redefining what's possible for you. You can have a new life. You can make big changes or small micro changes, whatever they are for you. I hope you're here for it, and I hope to lay it all sorts of ideas, inspirations, and frameworks out to you throughout the course of this podcast. I'd like to tell you a little bit about More. More is a company that is the destination for accomplished professionals at a crossroads. It is built around what I like to call 3 C's: curriculum, coaching, and community. The curriculum was built and designed by me. From 2016 to 2024, I did a lot of life reflection about what is the source of joy. How do we define and harness gratitude? And ultimately, after my second heart attack, this code 3 moment, I wanted to really dig into what is the true source of joy. And what I came to realize is that authenticity is the key. And that if we could build a methodology that helps people drive to their core values, to their authentically true selves, to be radically honest with themselves, they could come up with a wonderful game plan forward that could honor their core values and who they are authentically. Not the masks that they have to wear or have had to wear throughout the course of their careers, not the expectations that are enshrouded around them that hold them down and keep them from being their true selves. That is the curriculum, the first C. I will be having a book coming out on this in early 2026. My second C is around coaching. We have some fantastic coaches affiliated with More. More seeks to give all our members through group workshops or through one-on-one coaching frameworks they need, the reflection periods that they need, the time away from their busy lives to dig into things that are hugely important to them, and to be able to move forward with clarity, confidence, and courage, and the support of what will be my third C, a very engaged community. So we have a private community at More, and our community, as I like to say, transformation is best supported through community. You have an idea lab, you have accountability partners, you have a cheerleading section, you have all of this in this community. And that can really help you. When you think about major life transformations that people go through, whether it's becoming new parents or divorced or empty nesters or moving from addiction to sobriety, whatever it is, there are groups and communities out there to support you, and it can really facilitate that change from one chapter in your life to the next. I hope as you listen to this episode, and my very first episode for Code 3 Life Reinvented, that you understand why I'm creating this podcast. I started a podcast during COVID called Profound Awesomeness. I wanted to tell and share stories of people who had gone from calamity to triumph, or tragedy to triumph, however you want to say it. And hopefully those stories, however tragic they were or are, they always ended on a positive note. And the guests on those shows provided great clarity about how they found their level of profound awesomeness post their event. This podcast, Code 3 Life Reinvented, is about helping people get out of autopilot and get into a place where they can reinvent their lives before a crisis forces you to change your life. Like me, I had a heart attack in 2016. I was humming along in my life and in career. I was commuting 3 hours a day in and out of the city. I was struggling to get home for dinner, for family dinner, which was ultimately extremely important to me. I made a lot of money in financial services. I had a good career by all accounts. But when that first widowmaker hit in the fall of 2016, it shattered everything. And I had to reinvent myself and redesign a life that would suit me as a survivor of a near fatal situation. That got me out of autopilot and really helped me come up with my why in life. My why is now to help and inspire others to get more out of life. Through the hard-earned tales that I will share, through the stories we'll hear from our guests, from the inspiration and thoughts and frameworks we'll hear from our experts and coaches and luminaries, hopefully this will get you into a great place to move forward into a beautiful next chapter for yourself, and do it before a life crisis or health crisis hits you like it did me. I actually want to hold something up in front of you, if you will, on an audio podcast. I go back to my first heart attack. I was in the emergency room. No one held a mirror up to me. There was a figurative mirror. When the cardiologists and the nursing team put a defibrillator on my chest, I saw the mirror of mortality held up in front of me. All I could think of is, thank goodness I'm in a hospital. But I'm going to ask you to put a mirror up in front of yourself, the figurative mirror, and look at your life and ask the hard but necessary questions. Are you on autopilot? Have you traded significance for success? What is the cost of staying stuck if you are in fact and indeed stuck? What is that cost to you, to your relationships, to your health? I want you to reflect on what those costs could be. I'm interested in your Code 3 stories. I'll be looking for guests to come on the show to share their Code 3 moment. It doesn't have to be an emergency. It doesn't have to be driven by something that I went through to be your Code 3. But maybe there was an urgent awakening that you have had, whether that was a job loss, a health crisis, splitting up with a loved one, losing a loved one. Whatever that form of a Code 3 is, what is it and how do you want to urgently move into a new chapter? And I want to be clear, urgent does not mean massive, bold, and potentially reckless steps. It could also include micro steps, baby steps, incremental movement in a direction that brings you a greater source of purpose, fulfillment, and meaning. For me, my code 3, well, both my heart attacks, I think it's fair to say, completely changed how I feel about my relationship with my career and how I felt about my career. As I said earlier, I was doing just fine in financial services. I had a team. I had a nice title. I had money. I could impact the business, hopefully in very positive ways. But when you go through what I went through, and those of you that hear this can relate, it changes everything. I couldn't go back to that old world. In fact, after my first heart attack, I was put on leave from work for 4 months. And once I was discharged from the hospital, I would lay in bed and stare at the ceiling and wonder why I survived. What am I supposed to do with the second chance in life? Do I go back to my old world, that corporate America grind, or jump right back on that hamster wheel and scurry right along? Or do I leave that world? Do I resign and maybe become a stay-at-home dad? Our kids were in middle school at the time. Maybe I could become a teacher or join the Peace Corps or give back to the greater good in some capacity. I would sit there in bed and literally send questions to the universe. Help me. What do I do? What is the playbook? How do I move forward from here? The universe answered in the most thunderstruck kind of way. It told me, quote, use your story to help and inspire others. And I knew that's what I had to do. That was it. There was no going back. It was as massive a soul shift as I could have experienced once those words came into my consciousness. I did go back to work after my leave ended, and nothing felt the same anymore. I knew that I had to go on a different trajectory with my life and career, and that radical changes would be required, and that would be okay. And there would be some sacrifices and some discomfort and uncertainty, but that would also be kind of the fun of it as I discovered my way forward. So what I did is I left that world of comfort, that level of, well, in corporate America, I don't know how much is predictable anymore, but that level of predictability, and eventually transitioned out of that world and jumped 2 feet into this world of helping others. For years, I would just figure out ways I could help people, and I did not know how to start. So I started to blog anonymously about issues that I thought would be interesting to people. I'm a heart attack survivor. I would talk about heart disease prevention and awareness. I'm an adoptee. As a result of that first heart attack in 2016, I went and found my biological family, seeking answers not only to my heart and if this was a genetic situation, but also to my heart in a soul level to get answers that I've always yearned for my whole life. So I was out there talking about adoptee advocacy issues or helping adoptees with reunion. Thirdly, as I got more comfortable and was writing and being asked to do public talks and get on podcasts as guests, I started to explore this notion of how I could help people live their lives to the fullest. For me, through the heart attack, through finding my biological family, I found so many truths. I found my biological truth. I found my genetic truth. I found my ethnic truth. I found so much about myself, which made me feel whole and complete. And it was a whole new dimension, a life dimension that I got onto. And it's been beautiful. Those were the 3 areas that I was exploring for several years as a nights and weekends passion project type of thing. And then it was time to jump in with 2 feet, which led me to create more. So now, as you might imagine, I live things quite differently than I did before. My life is quite different. In what ways? Oh boy, where do I begin? Well, certainly my diet's changed. There's no doubt about it. I'm pretty much a vegetarian for the most part. I don't drink. I gave that up. I walk about as daily as I can, weather and professional commitments withstanding. We made wholesale changes, my wife and I. The biggest one is something I never, ever thought I would do. I'm a native Californian. born just north of San Francisco in a place called Marin County. My wife and I lived in the San Francisco area, both in San Francisco and in Marin, for decades. But after my second heart attack, I knew something had to give. Quite frankly, my cardiologist was like, you just got to retire and take care of yourself. To him, I said, no way. I've got unfinished business. Yes, I'm going to take care of myself, but I'm not going to retire. I have a mission, and that is to help others. But I'm going to do it in a way that's responsible to my health and responsible to my family. So what did we do? We left the state we loved so much, and I never thought I'd leave. And we moved to the East Coast. We changed our expense dynamics in our house by moving to a lower cost of living market. And that is an honor of just making changes and figuring out what you need to do to live a healthy, robust, fulfilling life full of meaning and alignment. Bringing everything home on this first episode, I want you to know that you can expect a lot of things here. You're going to expect interviews from pivoters, from industry pioneers who've done something one way and switched it up to gain more alignment. They've moved from success to significance in some way. I'm excited to share those stories with you and what we can learn and from their experience and wisdom. You're going to hear from experts, coaches, and luminaries to give you all kinds of ideas and frameworks to help you in your own journey. And if you have a Code 3 story, I want to hear it. You can find me at my company website, morecareerwellness.com, or by sending an email to hello@morecareerwellness.com. I want to thank you so much for joining me on this episode and ultimately and hopefully joining me throughout the course of this whole podcast. I'm doing this out of passion. I'm doing it because I need to do it. I know there are stories that need to be told that will help people. I don't like when people are suffering in silence. It is my mortal enemy. Not saying that you are suffering in silence, but there is suffering that is out there. There is disillusionment and loneliness and the sense of helplessness by being stuck where you are. You don't have to be. You don't have to feel that way. I hope these stories will inspire you. I hope what I have to share through my own solo episodes like this one will help you, will be a light for you as you navigate your way through your own path to something that is beautiful and exciting and lights you up. I encourage you, if you want to know more, let me point you to our website again. That's morecareerwellness.com. There are a couple freebies you can get there. The first is every other Tuesday, we offer a free 1-hour info session / mini workshop. You can learn more about who we are and our approach, and we'll do some mini workshop to give you something of value for your time that was spent with us. And then also on our website, we have a book of exercises to help you chart your own path. You can find that on our homepage. Just put in your email address and it'll be sent to you right away. Again, my name is AJ. I'm so grateful you found me. I hope that together we can find a great path for you. I'm here for it. I'm all in, and I can't wait to talk to you again soon.